Wow, ladies and gentlemen, this is a big night. This is a very big night. I want to welcome you to the Exceptional Conservative Show live from the nation's capital. We are certainly not ashamed of the good news of conservatism, for it is the power of liberation. First to the Republican, and then the Socialists. Tonight, what's happening in San Bernardino, California, might be the ultimate moment of recall upon ideology over public safety, ideology over common sense, ideology over wisdom, a profane sense of obedience to tolerance when caution should be the verse sung. Ladies and gentlemen, a mass shooting, as the left would like to say, in San Bernardino, California, within the confines of a social services building, where a room was being rented out to the local Environmental Protection Agency, or County Environmental Protection Agency. 14 dead, 17 injured. That number may rise as the night goes on. I'm your host, Ken McClinton. You're listening to the Exceptional Conservative Show live from the nation's capital. We're not going to pull any punches tonight. You're going to get the truth. We're going to have Anne-Marie MURRELL, Politichicks, best-selling author, on with us in a few moments. We're going to get what's not being told to you by Fox News, by CBS, by MSNBC, and certainly not by CNN. We're seeing from the very beginning to want to find the old white male terrorists who wanted to piggyback on the shooting in Colorado. That's what they were looking for. Just like they didn't find it in Colorado, they're not finding it here tonight. Washington is on alert. Somebody has pulled off a terrorist attack while Obama sits at 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue. You know how we begin every show. Take off your hat, put your hand over your heart, and let's pledge allegiance to the United States of America. Yay! I am proud to be an American. E pluribus unum, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Exceptional Conservative Show, live from the nation's capital. That's Washington, D.C. Mrs. Biggs is watching via live stream and Ustream, and I hope to God you're in a chat roll with my very good friends Dave Milner, Mary Brockman, and Deborah Frazier's in there. Good evening. God bless you. We love Mary. Mary's my bouncer. If you diss her, you diss me, you will be dismissed. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to pronounce it to you. I know the FBI doesn't want to come out and say it. I know California doesn't want to come out and say it, since they are a big gun control state. And I certainly know for a fact that the White House doesn't want to come out and hear this. But the bottom line is tonight, ISIS has brought their A game to Washington. ISIS has brought their A game to the United States of America. ISIS is here. We've been telling you this for 6 years. And you're going to hear a lot of this bubbling up, the beeps and everything. This is Dan Butcher, Sackhead Sean, Sackhead Clint, Free Sacco. We've been communicating tonight. They in California, me here in Washington, D.C., and we've been talking about what we've been hearing, what we've been seeing, and what's being reported. And quite frankly, the liberal press did what it could to cover Gluteus Maximus, Obama, Husseinus, Baracus. They did their best, but they failed. They failed, and this is how they failed. They allowed him to get on the press. CBS News, President Obama on the San Bernardino shootings.
What you know is that we have a pattern now of mass shootings in this country that has no parallel anywhere else in the world. And there's some steps we could take, not to eliminate every one of these mass shootings, but to improve the odds that they don't happen as frequently. Common sense gun safety laws, stronger background checks, and for those who are concerned about terrorism, some may be aware of the fact that we have a no-fly list where people can't get on planes, but those same people who we don't allow to fly could go into a store right now in the United States and buy a firearm, and there's nothing that we can do to stop them. That's a law that needs to be changed.
That's a lie!
And so, my hope is that we're able to contain this particular shooting, and we don't yet know what the motives of the shooters are. But what we do know is that there are steps we can take to make Americans safer, and that we should come together in a bipartisan basis at every level of government to make these rare as opposed to normal. We should never think that this is something that just happens in the ordinary course of events, because it doesn't happen with the same frequency in other countries.
Thank you, Mr. President.
Thank you so much, Laura.
There you go. That same response he gave in Paris, France, where everyone went, what? What? That's your answer? That this kind of stuff only happens in America? Well, guess what, Mr. President? Your Federal Bureau of Investigation is now looking into the reporting of a terrorist action in San Bernardino, California. San Bernardino? San Bernardino? I thought it was going to be Atlanta. I thought it was going to be New York. I thought it was going to be D.C. Ladies and gentlemen, there's nothing that puts shock and awe in somebody than hitting some place that you did not know, knowing that that place is defenseless, knowing that the answer will be a quick one, but knowing that you have now inserted fear into the hearts of America. A lot of people will say, kid, hey, you're not supposed to say that. You're supposed to be upbeat. You're supposed to be patriotic. I'm telling you the truth tonight. The truth of the matter is that you have someone with an agenda who thought more of his ideology than he did of those people that were sitting at that table waiting to be greeted by Christ in the hereafter. Ladies and gentlemen, when we come back from this particular break, we'll be talking with the beautiful and the brilliant Anne-Marie Murrell. Forgive me. She will be talking about Ted Cruz, but we'll also be talking about this very special report. She lives out there in California, IA. I'll also be giving you the insights from Dan the Man Butcher from Pundit Press and from Sackhead Sean as they're preparing to go on the air at 11 p.m. live tonight, especially for special coverage of this particular San Bernardino, California shooting. This is not a mass shooting. Your president was wrong. Black America, your president was wrong. It's a terrorist attack. Get it together, people. Maybe the conservatives were right.
Right swipe. Gonna be a right swipe. This man just shaved his chest hair into a heart. Oh, you stole mine. Right swipe.
Right swipe, right swipe.
That sounds like my sister. It does. But I know she's not.
He's cuddling. I can't. Oh my God, I'm gonna eat their faces.
Oh, she's hot.
Oh, wait a minute.
That's a lollipop. Oh, that is not a lollipop. Left swipe.
Left swipe.
Let's swipe that.
Gotta swipe it, Lex.
Yeah.
You gotta swipe it,
Let's
Lex.
swipe that.
You gotta swipe it, Lex. That's the stuff I don't like, so I gotta swipe that. Look at you with your shirt off, flexing. You're buff, but you puff, hashtag go flexing. Yeah, you worked out, you're in shape, okay. I like the six-pack abs, now the six-pack's a day.
Came across a photo of this green-eyed hottie. Whole nine, pretty face, tight waist, nice body. Hottie just couldn't overlook one small fact.
She smokes like an old man at a racetrack.
This must be some kind of joke. Think you're my type, and I'm not type. Hope you're good and it's not a smoke. I just left twice,
Let's swipe that.
You gotta swipe it, Lex.
Yeah.
You gotta swipe it,
Let's
Lex.
swipe that.
You gotta swipe it, Lex. That's the stuff I don't like, so I gotta swipe that.
Mr. World Traveler, your trips look expensive. Sitting on a mountaintop looking all offensive. I'm about to ask, how's the air up there? But based on this pic, I guess you don't really care.
Lots of chicks in the pic, not sure which one's you. Them cigarettes are taking y'all from 10s to 2s. And one thing's true about your whole crew, none of you cigarella's gonna be my boo.
Smoking with the tiger
Let's swipe that.
while you're on a hang glider.
Let's swipe that. Smoking while acting healthy. Let's swipe that.
Smoking all stealthy
Let's swipe that. Smoking with a duck face. Let's swipe that.
at a monster truck race.
Let's swipe that. Smoking at the prom. Let's swipe that.
Even in a photo bomb.
He don't care. Let's swipe that.
You gotta swipe it, Lex.
Yeah.
You gotta swipe it,
Let's
Lex.
swipe that.
You gotta swipe it, Lex. That's the stuff I don't like, so I gotta
Let's swipe that.
You gotta swipe it, Lex.
Yeah.
Hashtag.
I'll never remember you.
Nope, never will. Ladies and gentlemen, I welcome you back to the Exceptional Conservative Show. We're going to cut out some of the commercials in honor of the professor, underground professor, but I want to go to a report. Just came out this evening. It is by Pundit Press, my good friend Dan Butcher, producing this. Tayyip bin Erdogan identified as one of San Bernardino's shooters. This is good stuff, people. This is not the kind of stuff that just gets through Fox. This is good stuff, people. This is one of the shooters today, and this is the stuff that the FBI is not releasing, but the San Bernardino Police Department did. Tayyip bin Erdogan is one of the 3 shooters in the San Bernardino killings. Not much is known about Erdogan, but he is reportedly 28 and a citizen of Qatar. Yes, now the home of the clockmaker. Go Texas. Earlier reports seem to indicate a man named as Farouk Saeed as another one of the shooters. We are acquiring information as soon as possible. Apparently, Catherine Herridge from Fox News states that per her contacts at the Federal Bureau of Investigation, that name has washed out. The true name to watch out for is Tayyip bin Erdogan, one of the San Bernardino shooters, as reported by San Bernardino police. Ladies and gentlemen, we're bringing on the beautiful, the brilliant, and certainly amazing Anne-Marie MURRELL, who is a Politichick, one of the founders of Politichicks, and certainly a person who has some of the inside information of what's going on in California IA. Hello, Anne-Marie. It's an honor and privilege to have you on the Exceptional Conservative Show.
Hi, I'm so happy to be on. I'm not real happy today. This has been a really sad day in California.
This has,
But
to
be on with you.
This has truly been a very sad day for California and for the nation, because if it wasn't for someone pulling Barack Obama away from the news cameras, or at least CBS, we would all be walking around thinking that this was a mass shooting. Can you tell us exactly what's happening?
Right. Yeah. Well, And now, right now, I don't know if you know this, but right now they're about to enter a house, and there's a bomb squad and everything. They've got a search warrant, so they're going into the house, and now they're saying that they're not ruling out that this was terrorism. So this is all new, and there are a lot of these local mass media people are trying to backtrack a little bit because they've been saying all day on local news that this was domestic terrorism, much like the Planned Parenthood shooting.
Yes.
One of the reporters actually said that. And then she even put words into the FBI director's mouth and said he meant to say this wasn't terrorism like the overseas terrorists. It's been crazy here.
It has.
Crazy.
Anne-Marie, can I honestly say that I really blame the local media there as well as the cable media outlets who wanted to jump on the Colorado Springs shooting. And what we know about the Colorado Springs shooting is that was a liberal transgender or some kind of wacky sex-crazed individual pervert who was trying to steal some money. And it ended up Planned Parenthood. Now, I want to ask you, shouldn't people be concerned that they picked a social services center to do this first attack?
Oh, gosh, yeah. Well, and if this is a terrorist attack, if that's what it was, one of the things that people like Frank Gaffney have been saying for years, they don't have to go after Dodger Stadium. They don't have to go after the biggest cities. They can inflict more terror on people by doing things in small ways. And of course, we're still speculating. This hasn't been confirmed or anything, but they're not ruling out that this was an act of terrorism. So yeah. And I posted a story early on that there were 3 Muslim suspects. I'm sorry, Middle Eastern suspects. And that came directly from a police scanner report. And when I went back, because I posted it, and when I went back, they had scrubbed the entire story. I had to pull the story myself.
Yes.
Those kind of things happen all the time. No one has even described any of the suspects yet. No one. Anywhere.
Exactly. Now I want to do this quick reporting here because this is a very fluid story. And the problem of this story is that the President of the United States came out earlier this afternoon and pronounced this merely another American mass shooting, which means that he was not aware. Apparently that's why he doesn't show up for the briefings at 8 a.m. He's golfing. Was not aware that this was a terrorist attempt. FBI, as of 30 minutes ago, have pronounced this a potential terrorist attack in San Bernardino. And I'm going to read this, just the first paragraph. 2 suspects were taken down in a shootout with San Bernardino police, and 1 or more may have been on the run after the attack on a holiday banquet for county employees that left 14 dead, 17 wounded. And apparently, officials had no information to reveal on the suspects' names, agents, or relationship, but Dave Bowditch of the FBI cautioned that we do not know the contents of what's in that house. They are going into the house now, according to our report.
I'm watching it live on local television right now in California.
This is dangerous. This is seriously dangerous because the FBI is saying that there are some provision. I'm going to quote him. Bowditch says he was still not willing to say that we know this for sure. It is a possibility. We don't know that yet. We will go where the evidence takes us. When we are fairly sure, we'll let you know. The FBI taking charge of a mass shooting, like that happens, that doesn't happen. Am I right, Ann?
Oh, gosh, yeah, of course. If this was a regular mass shooting, or just a disgruntled, what LA, one of the Los Angeles outlets tried to say earlier today, it was a disgruntled party member. He left and came back because he was mad about something. You don't leave and come back in full body armor with major weapons and all of a sudden build pipe bombs real quickly. This was a well-planned attack. And the fact, like you just said, that the FBI director has acknowledged, he even acknowledged that they changed their stance. He said, after looking at the possibilities, we have to say that there is a chance that this was a terrorist attack. But yeah, immediately, every single outlet ruled it out even before they knew what it was.
Exactly.
And Hillary Clinton and all of these idiots were tweeting about how, oh, we need gun control. This proves we need gun control. No, this proves that Californians need more guns. So they're going on the news talking about how, oh, on channel, I'm sorry, I'm so mad. Channel 7 today. ABC News, they were saying, go to our website and you can watch a video, a 9-minute video that can save your life. It teaches you how to crouch down and hide under desks. How is hiding under a desk going to protect you from a bullet? It's not. Unless you have your own bullet to hit back with.
Exactly.
So that's the problem in California. They continually go to the no-gun zones. That's the problem. No one is armed. They're going. These are sitting ducks. These are shooting fish in a barrel. It is evil, and these monsters know it. And our country has been so weakened that emboldens, empowers any kind of terrorist, whether they're just bad guys or crazy guys or Islamists.
Wow. We're talking with Anne-Marie Murrell. And I feel what you feel, because I'm here in Washington, D.C., and this is the buffoon and I'll call him what he is. He's a buffoon at this particular juncture, because he is supposed to be commander-in-chief, Central Intelligence Officer to the world. He's supposed to know exactly what's going on, and his people should be able to report to him and say, dude, pipe bombs, long-arm weapons. This is not your JV team, okay? This is the real deal. And he failed miserably. And we played it earlier. I'm going to get that clip back up and play it for you. But we're also watching the fact that our men and women who put their lives on the line every single night and day are now going into a house to prove if this is terrorism or not. This is the President of the United States earlier today.
Is that we have a pattern now of mass shootings in this country that has no parallel anywhere else in the world. And there's some steps we could take, not to eliminate every one of these mass shootings, but to improve the odds that they don't happen as frequently. Common sense gun safety laws, stronger background checks, and for those who are concerned about terrorism, some may be aware of the fact that we have a no-fly list where people can't get on planes, but those same people who we don't allow to fly could go into a store right now in the United States and buy a firearm, and there's nothing that we can do to stop them.
There we are. Literally.
Hey,
I know. But we're listening to Barack Obama tell us that this is a mass shooting on the Tuesday following the biggest sale weekend in this country's history for ammo and guns. Everyone else can see the writing on the wall. This idiot doesn't. And are we really now at a point where his incompetence is impeachable?
I wish, but it's not, and it's not going to happen, and we just have to get rid of him. We have to just wait this out and pray to God, literally, that we're going to be safe before we can get someone in office who will possibly keep us safe. And I implore people, I don't care who you vote for, but please consider someone who will protect America, who loves and will protect America from terrorists within and without our borders, outside of our borders, because we are a weakened country. We always are going to be attacked. Look at every country that becomes weakened. Terrorists has been hit 3 times by jihadists, at least that we know of. That's because they are weak, and people are empowered by weakness when they're bad people. So we need strength, and it's only going to get worse with Barack Obama.
Now this
no one's going to keep eating. Yeah.
This is really amazing because just 24 hours ago on Conservative Commando's radio show, you made a big announcement. And as the founder of Politichicks, it tells me a lot about what you think about our world position and our defense here at home. Can you tell everyone exactly what you announced yesterday?
Well, yeah, I announced that I am officially endorsing and publicly endorsing Senator Ted Cruz for president, and it's basically for this exact reason.
Wow.
Because he's one of the few who has called out Islamic terrorism from the very start. He understands the need for peace through strength. He is someone who will instill fear in our enemies, but he's also someone who can assure our allies that we are allies instead of the opposite and giving billions of dollars to a country like Iran and once again making them stronger. So yeah, I'm all in. I am tired of seeing things like this. And again, we don't know if this was a terrorist attack or not, but they're not ruling it out. And this is exactly what type of acts they do. We're not safe, and I want a president who understands the importance of our Second Amendment, which Senator Cruz does, unequivocally.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm all in.
Exactly. Now, one final thing before you go, and I really appreciate you coming on at this emergency moment. But you have a situation here where they are no longer fearful of attacking.
Yes.
What should we do as citizens beyond sitting on our knees and praying? Is there legislation that we should be looking at? Is there budgetary? What would Politichicks advise Americans to do tomorrow morning at 8 a.m.?
What a great question. And you coming from Washington, D.C., and me coming from California, we're like so close to being communist. It's kind of, I don't know if there's really hope for us, but I'm going to talk to the people in the middle part of the United States who still have a chance. Hold on to your Second Amendment rights. This is the things that are happening on the West Coast and the East Coast of America. I've heard from a lot of people in the middle who aren't worried because they say, oh, those are just things that happen in these big places, in these crazy places. They'll never happen to us. But come on, Houston, Texas has a bathroom bill. There are 6 mosques in Richardson, Texas. That's a little suburb. Well, it's not little. It's a suburb, though, outside of Dallas.
Mm-hmm.
This is happening all over the place. They're very patient. The dark side is very patient. They are headed toward you, folks. So please, hold on your Second Amendment rights. Make sure that you vote in people who understand the importance of self-protection, self-preservation, because that's what our founders meant when they created our Second Amendment. The Second Amendment wasn't created so that the bad guys would have guns or outrageous politicians like Barack Obama would stockpile them and have them all for himself. Because who's he going to use those on if all things go bad?
Exactly.
So yeah, that's what I would encourage.
Thank you so much.
California, I think, is gone.
Yeah, and Washington D.C. is already there. We're virtually a Politburo of communists. You're absolutely right. Ladies and gentlemen, tonight was a wake-up call for Middle America. You're going to save America tonight. You are. And in Iowa, there's only one thing you can do, and that's vote Ted Cruz. That's all I'm going to say. Thank you so much for being with us tonight, Anne-Marie. God bless.
Anytime. Thanks for having me on.
Politichicks! Beautiful. God bless. Take care. Ladies and gentlemen, this is going to be a chock-full night of guests. All that stuff that you're hearing in the background of the beeping, that actually is Dan the Man Butcher and Sackhead Sean and I, and we are covering this story. We're not going to cover it the way everyone wants us to. That we agree with whatever the press tells us to agree with, and all that kind of stuff. No, that's not for us. We're the big boys. We wear the big pants, and so we want to make certain that you get the news and that you get the truth. beyond everything else. Apparently, it's not taking well. David Politich, the assistant director of the FBI, making his comments, but certainly is being reported in the Telegraph, telegraph.co.uk, that the FBI says shooting in California may or may not have been a terrorist attack. I'm going to play for you once more Barack Hussein Obama, President of the United States, Commander-in-Chief, the one who knows what's going on in this country. And he certainly wouldn't make a off-the-cuff remark about terrorism after coming from Paris with his off-the-cuff remarks, right? He wouldn't say anything off-the-cuff, would he?
This little guy?
Yeah, he would. Yeah, he would. Ladies and gentlemen, San Bernardino is under siege tonight from those who are reporting the fact that there was a terrorist attack. And in fact, let me go back to the Pundit Press notification, and I'm going to go with Pundit Press because Dan doesn't produce anything that he don't know about. Tayyip bin Erdogan has been identified by the San Bernardino Police Department as one of the 3 shooters in San Bernardino. Not much is known about Erdogan, but he is reportedly 28 and a citizen of Qatar. Earlier reports seem to indicate a man named as Farouk Saeed as another one of the shooters. We are acquiring information as soon as possible, and this is why I love working with Dan and with Sean. They're in there tonight, and they are doing all the hard work. And quite frankly, Dan's the kind of person. Pundit Press, I don't know if it's something that you have in your chat role or that you star, but I'm going to put that in there for you tonight. There are some people that you actually read. I know people get used to reading the LA Times and all of that. But time out for that. You need to go directly to the source, to the truth, so that you can protect you and your family. Tonight, I'm encouraging you to go to punditpress.com, punditpress.com, for Dan the Man Butcher's reporting on what I think is a terrorist action. I'm not waiting for the FBI. But she said tonight, Anne-Marie said tonight, very much what I would say to you. Listen, the left coast and east coast, they're gone. They're virtually gone. It's going to take an invasion of conservatives to change that. But until that invasion comes, you are the guardians of the republic. This is not a democracy. No, France is a democracy. We are a republic. And quite frankly, you're the one who's going to protect this republic from terrorists, both foreign and domestic. When your president of the United States comes out and says that this is a mass shooting, which means that he did not either know what was going on and finds it unequivocally brilliant to comment on it. I mean, what better comments are made than out of ignorance? Or that this is a malicious rendering of what his policies after 7 years have done to the United States of America, where individuals can walk into a Christmas party and start blowing people away. 14 dead, 17 injured. That number may rise by tomorrow morning, but I just want to make certain that you all understand. When we were telling you all these years that you needed to protect yourself, that you needed to change your laws so that others would be able to protect themselves, that was your moment. For those who are on the East Coast and West Coast, that was your moment. But now the enemy is here. What do you do? What do you do? Are you waiting for someone else? Mr. and Mrs. Liberal? I'm sorry, can you put down the Chardonnay for a moment? Can you just 1 moment, can you put it down? I want to ask you, are you waiting for me to protect you? Because the Army, the Air Force, the Navy, the Marines, the Coast Guard, the U.S. Merchant Marines, we have them all, and they could not stop what happened in San Bernardino. The police came some 20 minutes after the first call. What do you do? Are you waiting for me to do it? Because I can't do it for you. I can't even protect my own family in Washington, D.C. because the police chief won't give me permission to get a license to carry. So I ask you, are you waiting for me in these dark moments of our times to show them my values? This is, do I take my Bible out of my desk at work and go, here, terrorists, here, ha, yeah, that's stop, yeah? Are we crazy? How crazy do you have to be to know that 14 people died needlessly today? They didn't have to die. Whenever you watch the Nature Channel or National Geographic, and we're going to go to a break. And when we come back, we're going to talk with Pastor Shannon Wright. Whenever you watch the Nature Channel or anything of that particular nature, you will always know that whether it's the lion, the leopard, whatever the animal is that wishes to take down its prey, always chooses the weakest, the sickest, the most suitable for chase. And the reason is that only a third of the time do animals actually collect their prey. They waste a lot of energy. They waste a lot of resources trying to get that one good prey for the day. They always choose the place where you least expect, and they always choose the weakest link. No one goes into the social services center no one does that unless they know for a fact that they have planned this out and they know how it's going to end. And I must tell you, many of you all give the Islamists, the Mohammedans, too much credit. You think they have something to live for. No, Christians have something to live for. Mohammedans have something to die for. We'll be back. I don't know. I don't know how more simple it can get. Maybe I'm not saying it the right way. We'll be back with more of the best right after this message.
Hi, my name is Christopher Arnold. I'm the executive chef of a restaurant, and today I'm going to walk you through some of the meals that we prepare here. So we're making a pizza. We use fresh Italian sausage that is cooked here and sliced up. Our pizza dough is an in-house made. Our pizza sauce is in-house made. So everything is fresh and good. This is our Thai curry chicken. The sauce is made with coconut milk and a Thai red curry. It is juicy chicken thighs as well as some mixed vegetables, served with jasmine rice and pita bread. So now we're going to prepare our famous blackened tilapia and grits, our fish and grits on the menu. And our meal will be complete. Let me tell you about our infused sea burger. So we keep the spice up just a little bit with our infused sauce. We start off with 80-20 USDA ground chuck ham patty burgers, like sample pound of burgers, and we're going to grill it to perfection. After I flip the burgers, we add the sauce. We're gonna add a little bit of pepper jack cheese to this burger. Spice it up a bit.
Ladies and gentlemen, I don't know about you, but I certainly will do everything that I can to get over to that wonderful restaurant, better known as...
Hi, my name is Chris.
I know, Chris. Thank you. Thank you, Chris. There is no better way of actually spending your day, and it's spending your lunch, in fact. I would tell you to go to lunch there, but I would actually dream of going there and staying for most of the day. 6339 Allentown Road, Temple Hills, Maryland. In fact, do that on Friday. Take an early lunch, especially if you work at the Social Services Center. Take an early lunch. 6339 Allentown Road, Temple Hills, Maryland, 20748. Telephone number 301-449-9000, 301-449-9000. Infuse.com. Get the burger. Get the burger that covers your entire face. That's a huge burger. Ladies and gentlemen, I want to bring to you the beautiful, the brilliant Pastor Shannon Wright. And she is helping us do some dramatic stuff. If you haven't had the opportunity of going to our website and taking a look, please take this opportunity now, because she has some beautiful cookies and some other great things that she is presenting to the world. And trust me, although I've only had one of her cookies, wink wink, I ate that whole thing, man. That tray, you just forget it. It's gone. But she has committed her company, which is Shannon's Gourmet Bakery. She's committed this one great thing, that 25% of the sales that she makes during this particular month will go towards two specific fundraisers. And she is here to tell us all about that. Can you please tell us, Pastor Shannon Wright, who is chairwoman?
I was just quietly listening.
See, I gave you credit for the cookies.
This time, yes, it's a first. That's really awesome. Let's see, I don't even know where to start. I don't know if any of your listeners saw the video that we put out today. It's a 20-second piece just to show kind of how we make the specific cookies that we do. And we're going to be doing a different cookie every day for the next 12 days with the plan, but we're going to actually bump that up to 2 a day, because 12 days of cookies this year is not going to be just cookies. We're doing some other types of items as well, some other culinary items, and some gift items this year. But the proceeds will still, portion of the proceeds will still apply to fundraisers. Folks, this time of year, if no other time, buy gifts. They give. It's the season of giving. And when you can give a gift that gives to a good cause, that's a win-win.
Exactly.
So that's the paradigm that we want to show by example going forward. So that's what we're doing.
And you all do a wonderful job. I mean, you're a great, I'm going to give you the credit because it's true. You are a great chef, and you are a great cook, and your stuff is really great. It really is. And if you go to the Open Heart Closed Case at the very top of the exceptionalconservativeShow.com tab, if you go there, and the tab on Open Heart Closed Case, and those who are in the chat roll, SHR Media Live, if you will click on and go there, you scroll down, you can order directly from this website her cookies, and 25% of that will go to those two specific charities. One is Open Heart Closed Case. The other one is the Charlotte and
Gwyneth Gray Foundation to Fight Batten's Disease.
Wow. Can you tell us why you chose those two?
Well, Open Heart, because of you. God gave us a blessing of raising 4 children, and it's only by circumstance that it was you and not others of your listeners or myself that are in the situation that you're going through. And if we can do something to help those that have been there and to prevent others from being there, that makes sense. And as far as the other foundation, the father is a movie producer, makes a lot of movies. The Rookie and several other sports-themed underdog type of movies. He's been a Hollywood producer for over 20 years. And he recently, let me give it to you the way it was told to me, and this is why there was no way I could not do something for them. They had their first child.
Yeah.
The baby was a year and a half, close to 2 years old. And they started noticing some developmental issues. At that point, the wife was pregnant with a second child. Towards the end of her term, they found out that the issues that oldest was having was because she had this very rare neurological disease called Batman's disease. And when their second child was born, she was born with it as well.
Yeah.
And the life expectancy of that illness is 12 years old, average.
Wow.
You can live to 20, but the quality of life at that point is really not what some folks would consider living. And to me, that was just something that, we had to try to do a little something to try and help that one out,
I think it's awesome. I really do. And so for those who are listening tonight, around the world, around the country, you can change the life of a little girl and change the lives, two little girls, forgive me, and change the lives of a whole lot of people in urban America. And I want to tell everyone that the monies that are being raised are not for the purposes of my own pursuits in Las Vegas. I just want to let y'all know that.
Yeah, I'm still help you out of that little stuff.
I bet you would. Oh man, I can tell all the sisters will be around me with holy water. But really, that money is being raised as we are expanding. We just got news last week that we will be expanding Open Heart Closed Case to Atlanta. And I want to give some news to some people tonight. We also, while we're in Washington, D.C., in Baltimore, and in St. Louis now, the great people of Chicago are sending us an invitation to join them and to help in terms of establishing an Open Heart Closed Case campaign in Chicago. So we are blowing up. And as we blow up, the expenses blow up, and I'm just hoping that people will support a good thing. Because we also received news today that a private detective of the 75 has been assigned to the Shanice Milton murder. So we'll be working with the chief of police here in Washington, D.C. To work out all the details, but the bottom line is that what we're doing is changing the way people see exploited children in exploited cases, human trafficking, how they see missing persons cases, and how they receive the news regarding unresolved homicides. We're going to get to a point now that we are not going to ask the legislature, we're going to demand legislatures, especially in urban America, to open up its budget, open up its purse, and hire more detectives so we can close case. The better the cases are closed, the quicker the cases are closed, the image is that we're going to be a holy and acceptable place to live, to worship, and to do business.
Absolutely. And you gotta say, that is the biggest deterrent that you can have, is to see a law enforcement bureau effectively doing its job. That is better prevention than any other campaign you could do.
There is someone in the chat room tonight, the Unpleasant Blind guy, Dave Milner, great commentator, but he has a question. Can you ship your cookies to the United Kingdom?
I can ship anywhere I have an address.
There you go. So, Dave, yes, she can ship your cookies to the United Kingdom. She can even ship your cookies to Qatar for the parents of the... Never mind. But the bottom line is, wherever it is in the world, if you want to send a great gift to your family, to your friends, if you want to order some cookies, and there's also a big announcement you're going to make tonight in terms of something additional being added that I'll have to stay up all night long adding to the website, but I'm willing to take that sacrifice. What is that big announcement that you're making tonight?
I'm not sure which one you're talking about. See, I can play dumb.
Yeah, right. Is that the turkey thing?
It was, yes. We did discuss that, doing turkey dinners, which would be either a small or regular. Small would be half turkey, which is about 6 to 8 pounds. And a full size would be somewhere between 11 to 13 pounds with either side, and that'll be up on the website later on today. It'll include the full size and the dessert. And the price, of course, will be depending on what you choose.
Awesome.
It's just, it's not something that, and the turkeys are all deep fried. So it's not something that it would be the most healthy to eat on a regular basis. I am not trying to pretend that it is, but it's really good for that once or twice a year thing, especially at the holidays.
There you go. So literally, if I'm trying to impress my wife and tell her that I made this dinner, what's included in this?
I'm sorry.
She will believe it.
See, no, first of all, if you were talking hypothetically as one of your listeners, that's one thing, but I've met your wife. She's not going to believe you.
I worked all day in the kitchen to make this for you. But
let me tell you,
you
have to, because the turkey is a deep fried, bacon wrapped stuffed turkey.
Whoa!
So,
Whoa!
You go ahead and show me how you work that out.
Whoa! Okay, wait a minute. This turkey is what?
Deep fried, bacon wrapped, stuffed.
Oh! I'm already crying. And also, it's a very good gift for all your San Bernardino friends from the local mosque. Make sure that you order. But that's awesome. And reasonably,
it really is kind of awesome, I must say.
Reasonably priced. And so you just get the turkey, right?
No, there are 4 sides, and there will be choices. And all of that will be up on the website by tomorrow. But it looks like the choices will be greens or macaroni and cheese. There's rice and peas. There's some stuff to choose from.
Wow.
There's some stuff to choose from. We'll find what's in total.
Wow. And we'll be putting that up. I know, Mary, I'm in love too. We're talking. Oh, and for the underground professor, somebody's got to let the underground professor know. I'll let him know. A bacon-wrapped, deep-fried turkey with 4 sides in a pie. Do I get a pie with that too?
Well, there'll be choices: pie or cake.
Oh my God! Tears are falling from my eye tonight. I can order that. It can be delivered to me just in time for the holidays, and I can serve it. Wow! And 25% of the proceeds goes to the charity.
Yes.
That is simply awesome. Simply awesome. We will. And because you're a woman and so used to being in the kitchen, it shouldn't be hard work. But
I'm gonna laugh through that one. I'm gonna laugh through.
See, now I won't come to Baltimore.
I'm like, come on over. Don't wait too long though, but come on over.
I want to thank you so much for coming on tonight, Pastor Shannon. That's a very big announcement there. We will be updating the website so that you can start putting in your orders on Thursday night. Does she? Here's a question for you out of the chat room. Does she do a chocolate pie? Do you do a chocolate pie?
It is not something that is going to be a part of that menu, but we are putting up special holiday desserts. And one of the desserts is in honor of our oldest daughter, who is a chocoholic. And it is a two-layer cake. It is a chocolate mousse chocolate cheesecake.
Oh my God, my tears. Oh, my wife is probably going to come in here in a few moments and bring me tissue. Oh my God, this sounds awesome. So, ladies and gentlemen, I just want to let you all know, you can order not only the cookies that you want to give away to family and friends, you can order your full meal through Shannon's Gourmet Bakery. She will deliver it to you. That's what I'm talking about, dang! Dang! She will deliver it to you, and you will be able to...
I'm going to run through some things for your listeners real quick.
Okay.
Now, in terms of the cookies, we just previewed, we put one out today, which was, did you see it? The deep fudge cookie?
No! I didn't see no deep fudge. And we talked. You didn't tell me about it.
Anybody who's listening, y'all need to message Ken and tell him all about himself.
Wow.
If you were to go online right now, and I even tagged you in posts.
You did?
I did. Okay. I did. Matter of fact, because I know you multitask well, even for a man.
Go, girl.
Anyway, if you go to my page, the second or third posting down, you will see a graphic that looks to be a video. Are you doing that while we're speaking?
I'm doing that as we speak right now. Yes, I am. Right. And I'm copying it.
On it and watch that.
Oh, man. 12 Days of Cookies YouTube. Oh, my goodness. Oh, my goodness. Ladies and gentlemen, we're going to go out playing the 12 Days of Cookies. I want to thank Reboot Liberty for playing us and also SHR Media. This is Sackheads Night, Wednesday night. You know Sackhead Sean, Sackhead Clint, and Free Soccer will be on the air. I want to thank Planet Press for airing us tonight as well. We love you, but we want you to go to the Open Heart Closed Case tab on the ExceptionalConservative.com. Put in your orders for the cookies. Because as you get blessed, we get blessed. And as we get blessed, we become blessers of others. Pastor Shannon, I'll see you tomorrow night at 9:10 p.m. Eastern Time, right?
Yes, you will.
All right. God bless you. Thank you so much. Ladies and gentlemen.
Thank you. Everybody have a good night.
Amen. Now, ladies and gentlemen, we will release the KRAKEN in just a few minutes. I know, man, Dave, I'm talking, you know what I'm saying? I'm talking, man, she talking all this stuff. And I'm going to play this and I'll be right back.
Season's greetings from Shannon's Gourmet. Deep fudge espresso. Finest ingredients, freshly made, brought straight to you. From our family to yours. Season's great.
Ladies and gentlemen, I don't know about you, but I'm going to order me some cookies, but I may take her up on that deep fried bacon wrapped turkey with the 4 sides and the order of a pie. And 25% of the proceeds goes to Open Heart Closed Case campaign. It's a winner. Ladies and gentlemen, just reported on Pundit Press, Saeed Farouk does exist. Saeed Farouk was one of the 3 shooters in San Bernardino today. It appears that he carried out the shooting with his brother. He is apparently an American citizen. That's also word that he was an environmental health specialist. So he actually worked inside, and with that inside, he defeated us on the outside. Ladies and gentlemen, we'll be back with more of the best. Stick around. This gets bigger, it gets better, and I love me I really do, with all of my heart. I love me. Boy, I tell you, love that stuff. Love that good.
MURRELL stands for Modus Operandi, which translates as method of operation. Can you see why I'm so mean? If you leave me alone, it's written in my murder.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is Sackheads Wednesday night. Sackhead Sean, Sackhead Clint, the best late night urban conservative talk show in the world. 11 p.m. Eastern Time, and they will have special coverage of the San Bernardino terrorist attack. Stay tuned for more of the best in urban conservative talk right after this. Ladies and gentlemen, we are following the terrorist attack in San Bernardino, California. I know others have not jumped out there, but I'm a deep water kind of guy. I'm just going to go out there and tell you it's deep. We had earlier on the Exceptional Conservative Show live from the nation's capital, where we're not ashamed of the good news of conservatism, for it is the power of liberation, first to the Republican and then the socialist. We had on earlier Anne-Marie Murrell, who's been following the story all day long. She concurs with me that this was a terrorist attack. We're getting reporting now from Pundit Press that there were two individuals who have a Mohammedan background. I know people don't want to use the term Muslim, so I'll go with Mohammedan background. And those two persons happened to be Saeed Farouk. Saeed Farouk was one of the three shooters in San Bernardino today. It appears that he carried out the shooting with his brother. He is apparently an American citizen. There's also word that he was an environmental health specialist. Pundit Press is doing a wonderful job of covering this. Tayyip bin Erdogan, also identified today, has been identified by the San Bernardino Police Department as one of three shooters in San Bernardino. Not much is known about Erdogan, but he is reportedly 28 and a citizen of Qatar, or Qatar, if you like to say that. Earlier reports seem to indicate a man named as Farouk Saeed is another one of the shooters. We are acquiring information as soon as possible. They have, and they've done a great job. So, ladies and gentlemen, we are covering this story better than Fox, better than MSNBC, better than CNN. That's because we are the mainstream media. God bless us. Thank God for us. So we are certainly not at a loss of how we start our program or start our show. We ask that you put your hand over your heart, raise it high, and repeat after us the Pledge of Allegiance to the United States of America. Help us out, K3 class. Ladies and gentlemen, we are bringing up in just a few moments here, we're going to release the KRAKEN, and I'm quite certain he's ready to roll tonight. Ralph Chitthams, who is the vice chair of the DC GOP here in Washington, D.C. Good evening, sir. Ralph Chitthams, DC vice chair of the GOP, was with us tonight. And what better night to be able to talk about peace and prosperity in the world? Am I right, sir?
Don't even get me started.
let's release the KRAKEN, people. Here we go. Sir, just 3 hours ago, the President of the United States was coming out and stating to us that we were the crazy ones, and this was another opportunity for us to take guns off the street. Your retort back to the insolence of this gentleman.
This president, and I use that term in reference to him with very little respect, is absolutely crazy, insane, stupid, out of touch with reality, and I can't wait until we can fumigate the White House and get his stench out of that building. This was a terrorist attack. Period. End of discussion. And to use this as another attempt to foster an idea that they're going to dismantle the Second Amendment of the Constitution and take away the gun rights of citizens so that we can't protect ourselves when he finally gets around to releasing his Nazi stormtroopers or American citizens is a sin and a shame. And if American citizens don't wake up, this country will be lost.
You're absolutely right. And, you know, one of the things, you have to laugh because this is just really crazy. This is just another opportunity for him to do something off the cuff. We've seen it before. He literally doesn't seem prepared to lead.
Well, it's not that he's incapable of leading.
Wow.
He's incapable.
Wow.
He does not have the ability to lead.
Now,
he knows what the real story is. He knows this was a terrorist attack, but he's using this as another opportunity to drive his domestic agenda of disarming America so that he can implement his police state. It's so obvious. And what's really amazing about this whole thing is, black people in this country are so quick to holler about racist white people and the man this and the man that. And then this story breaks. And the first story that the media put out, that it was white men who had done the shooting. And then all of these black nationalists jump out of the woodwork with their bigoted diatribes about how evil the white man is. And now that it's been proven that it wasn't the white man, but it was Islamic terrorists, now these same ignorant Negroes have gone quiet.
Well, this takes away the chutzpah of being able to stare down a police officer in Chicago over a white cop killing a black kid. I mean, they got rid of the chief of police. Everything was supposed to be about Black Lives Matter this week, and once again, ISIS takes the news story away from Black Lives Matter.
Well, see, for me, I don't make those kind of equivalencies. For that, guy who got killed, 16 shots, 15 seconds, the cop who unloaded on him, had just gotten to the scene, there are some questions there.
Yes.
That I think everybody should have. How could he be afraid for his life when he was coming on the far side of the car, but the cop who was closest to the guy who had the knife wasn't afraid for his life? So I don't want to start making equivalencies because, first things first, Chicago has been corrupt.
Yes.
Since the 1960s.
Mm-hmm.
And getting rid of the police chief isn't going to fix anything. Because if everything happened the way people are saying it happened, the cops who erased the video should be fired and lose their pensions.
Yep.
The cops who lied in the police report should be fired and lose their pensions.
Yep.
Rahm Emanuel should be fired and thrown in jail. The DA should be fired and thrown in jail. But that has absolutely nothing to do with the fact that you have 3 Islamic terrorists who decided they were going to go to a soft target like a city like San Bernardino, where nobody expected terror. I mean, why wouldn't they go to San Bernardino? I mean, you don't go where the guns are, you go where the guns are.
Exactly. Proven point. Well said. And in the stipulation of tonight, where you have the news media that did everything that it could to cover Barack Obama's faux pas regarding pronouncing this merely a mass shooting, just another killing, per se, because we allow individuals to have guns in this country. Did he make those same remarks over in Paris, France, that this only happens here in the U.S.?
Of course he did. This is the most anti-American president we've had in the history of the country. I mean, I've never seen a guy who dislikes America and Americans as much as he does. Wow. And I know some flat-out communists who care about the country more than he does.
Alrighty.
I mean, flat out, unabashed, communist socialists, and they seem to have a deeper appreciation and a love for the United States of America than the sitting president.
Exactly. We're talking tonight with my very good friend, Ralph Chitthams Sr., who is D.C. Vice Chairman of the GOP, a man of great faith and great wisdom. I want to talk with you tonight about the other big story that isn't getting the attention that it deserves. We spend, about $2.2 billion a year on education in the District of Columbia, somewhere in that area.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah. Give or take a couple of million here and there, which they will take. And with all that money being spent, the expectation is that our children, since we're spending $40,000 per pupil, our children should be the smartest, most emblazed, brilliant children on the face of the earth. Can you tell us what's happening in Washington, D.C., sir?
Well, Washington, D.C. has taken a classical piece of literature and they have just subtly retitled the book. Education in D.C. should now be known as the miseducation of the Negroes.
Yeah. True.
Because they are not teaching these children anything. They just released the second of two reports on education in the District of Columbia. And two of the major high schools in the District of Columbia that enroll predominantly black high school students at the 10th grade level. 0%
what?
of the 10th graders at Ballou High School and Woodson High School, 0% of the 10th graders were proficient in English and math.
Well, you must be talking about the kids who come over from other countries, right? You know, because it's difficult to get the English language down at that late in your life. That's what you're talking about, right?
No, because as a matter of fact, the report shows that and I'm reading from the report, white students had a proficiency rate of 79% in English and 70% in math. For Hispanic students, the proficiency rate was 21% in English and 22% in math. Black students had a 17% proficiency rate in both English and math. Black students are scoring lower in English than Hispanic students for whom English is a second language.
Oh my God! I mean, what? Okay, this must have been done by the Heritage Foundation, right? Or some little, really red state-oriented institution that wants Common Core to go away and private charter schools to be funded, right?
This is the report that has been published by the District of Columbia Public School System, reporting on their own test results.
Wow! Now,
and you're going to love this one. And the chancellor of the D.C. Public School System said, and I quote, "These results are sobering." No, Ms. Henderson, these results prove that you are an idiot who cannot do your job, who's been in this position for 5 years, continuing the failed policies of Arnie Duncan and Michelle Reed, and your behind should be fired.
My God, ladies and gentlemen, we're listening to Ralph Chittams. We have released the KRAKEN, and I am so glad we're releasing the KRAKEN tonight. 17% of black kids can't read.
Actually, 17% were proficient in English, whereas 21% of Hispanic students were proficient in English and 79% of white students. So, like I said, the D.C. public school system should really be renamed the miseducation of the Negroes.
But isn't this a sign that we're not spending enough money? Maybe if we didn't spend $40,000, but maybe $45,000, our children would get to that level. Is that?
It's not about money. It's not about money. Part of the problem in D.C. is the teachers don't even know how to speak English. If you go into the public school system, these teachers have come through the system where when they were students, their English wasn't corrected because this new, we must give people self-esteem, said that, well, we're not going to correct their English. We're going to let them express themselves. So now you have, children who are illiterate in high school now trying to teach people English as adults, and they're still illiterate.
Wow. And now this school system has been, for at least the past decade, given an exceptional largesse of the nation's capital's treasury, with the promise that by the time we got to this year, kids would be at least 40 to 50% proficiency. What is it that's stopping kids from attaining that? Is it the teachers? Is it the administration? Is it the crack parents? What is it? Because the books are still based in the 1950s, Johnny can't read kind of thing. What exactly is it?
It's a combination of all of it. But for me, the bottom line is we do not hold anyone to a standard.
Yeah.
There needs to be a minimum standard that is demanded of every student in the school system. Now, there are some students who need additional help. We understand that. We give those students help. But when you just socially promote people and you develop policies that say, well, we're not going to fail little Johnny, although he can't read, because we don't want to harm his self-esteem. Okay, well, what's little Johnny's self-esteem going to be when he's 22 years old, reading at a third grade level, and can't even get a job at McDonald's because he doesn't even know the difference between a picture of a Big Mac and a French fry?
Wow. And probably sitting behind bars, in fact, as a result of that particular scenario, unable to get
That's also part of this thing, because people don't understand, we have in this country a for-profit prison system where jurisdictions have to guarantee the for-profit prison a guaranteed occupancy rate. And if the occupancy rate of that prison falls below the contracted obligation, then that jurisdiction has to pay out of its treasury the prison company to make up for the lost profits.
Mm-hmm.
So people need to understand that there is a profit-driven motive for why the United States of America has the largest population of incarcerated people of any first world country. And I'm not just talking about black folks, I'm talking about all folks, including white folks. Mm-hmm. We put more people in prison to generate profits for shareholders than any other industrialized nation on the face of the earth. And our education system, which is undereducating kids from Appalachia to Detroit to Boston to DC to California, is complicit in this pipeline of schools to prison so that we can keep the shareholders rolling in money.
There we are. Ralph Chittams, D.C. Vice Chair of the GOP. I want to ask you, as we are coming to the close of the segment here, the House decided to leave no child education law behind. They voted to get rid of it. Will the Senate follow suit and get rid of No Child Left Behind? And your commentary on No Child Left Behind.
Well, first thing first, No Child Left Behind really means every child is left behind.
Yep.
And if I were a parent, I wouldn't let the Senate watch my children because they probably can't even change a diaper. So nothing's going to happen in the Senate.
Wow. I want to ask you this. So do we have to wait to get a Republican president in order for there to be a change in how we handle all this stuff? Will that change what's happening in Washington, D.C.?
Getting a Republican president isn't necessarily going to change anything because Jeb Bush is a Republican. So we need to be careful when we say we just need a Republican in the White House. Because right now we have Republicans are controlling the House and the Senate, and every time I'm turning around, Paul Ryan is rolling over and becoming an Obama Democrat. So why didn't we just keep John Boehner?
Exactly. We're just changing seats around on the Titanic.
Exactly. So saying getting a Republican president is going to change anything, no. Getting a Republican president isn't going to change anything. We need to get the right Republican president.
Now, I want to ask you, they did a recent poll, and they're finding that the greatest number of sympathizers with ISIS happen to be young male Americans. What makes ISIS so attractive, in your opinion?
You have to ask one of those crazies, because I don't have a clue. There's nothing attractive about an ideology that tells me that I have to kill my daughter to maintain my family's honor. That is completely permissible for me to beat the snot out of my life. That it's okay for me to have multiple wives. That it's okay for me to stone somebody, to cut off their hands. I I do not see anything attractive about this. Only thing I can say is anybody who's attracted to Islam has to be mentally ill.
Well said. Well said. Listen, what big things are coming up for you in the new year? What things do you have planned for the GOP and for the election year period?
Well, for the GOP, once again this year, contrary to this mantra that the GOP are heartless people who, the party of rich old white men who hate everything black. This year, we have adopted through St. Thomas More Church a number of children who live east of the river for Christmas. We're purchasing gifts for them because regardless of who your parents are, I believe that every child deserves a decent Christmas.
Yeah.
So, the DC GOP has stepped up to the plate, and, we're doing that again this year for a group of children here in Washington, D.C. And next year, I'm already working on some things with the World Congress of Families. We're trying to bring a conference here into D.C.
Awesome.
In the first quarter of the year, so that we can explain to people exactly how devious, diabolical, and evil the U.S. State Department is and how they're complicit with the United Nations Human Rights Office in subverting the constitution of sovereign nations throughout Africa and the Caribbean, pushing a homosexual and an abortion rights agenda. And I just plan on, as I said to some other people, being as big an irritant as I possibly can be to the liberal establishment and the GOP establishment.
Well, you do a gosh darn good job of that, sir. I'm very proud of you. And we have released the KRAKEN for Wednesday night. Tell everybody how they can get in contact with you, you radical Republican that you are.
I like that. The radical, Chris, if the radical Republicans have actually won out, and the black guys, the reformers, were made to take a back seat, this country really would be a lot better off. But that's a
discussion for another day. There you go. You're right. And we'll talk about that in the coming weeks as we're going into the new year about Reconstruction, the 14th Amendment, the 13th and the 15th, and how basically after the Lincoln presidency, the interest in keeping the South contained went away and virtually left us in a situation where we were obliterated by the Democrats. How can people get in contact with you, sir?
I'm on social media all the time, making all kind of noise. I'm RJ Chittam Sr., RJCHITTAMSSR. That's Facebook and Twitter. If you want to drop me a note, send it to ralph.chittams@dcgop.com. I would love to speak with any of your listeners.
Yeah, we love talking with you, sir. I am so glad you come here on Wednesday nights. Wednesday nights, 10 o'clock, we release the KRAKEN. None other than I'm pushing it. I'm pushing him to go back. Anyway, Ralph Chittam Sr., the D.C. Vice Chairman of the GOP. God bless you, sir. Good talking with you. Talk with you real soon. All right. Ladies and gentlemen, this has been just a plum-pleasing night, if I may say so myself. It's just been rock full of great guests, great conversation, and great community. When we come back, however, I want to talk with you about a very serious subject matter, and that's how the Democrats, or socialists, or totalitarians as we see them, literally have a war on women. I know I talked about this last week, but here's the other part of that. If you took your cell phone, okay, got your cell phone there? If a woman had this taser in her hand, if it the size of a cell phone, she could make it equal the fight between her and a potential rapist, potential murderer. When we come back, I want to talk with you about how America's totalitarians have decided that your women are no greater than property in their eyes, like it unto Sharia law. And that's why socialists can easily go, or Marxists can easily go to the side of Sharia law, because it fits exactly how they see women, as mere property. But the worst thing you could tell a woman, if you look in the eyes of your daughter, the worst thing you could tell your daughter is, you can't have this tool to protect yourself. We'll be back with more of the best and more updates. Thank you, Dan the Man Butcher, for all the updates at Pundit Press. But all of those particular updates regarding San Bernardino, the terrorist attacks, and we're going to talk about taser laws, and that taser laws need to be changed so that women have a chance to protect themselves. It's the cheapest way to do it, too, right?
Is that we have a pattern now of mass shootings in this country that has no parallel anywhere else in the world. There's some steps we could take not to eliminate mass shootings, but to improve the odds that they don't happen as frequently. Common sense, gun safety laws, stronger background checks, and for those who are concerned about terrorism, some may be aware of the fact that we have a no-fly list where people can't get on planes, but those same people who we don't allow to fly could go into a store right now in the United States and buy a firearm, and there's nothing that we can do to stop them. That's a law that needs to be changed. And so, my hope is that we're able to contain this particular shooting, and we don't yet know what the motives of the shooters are. But what we do know is that there are steps we can take to make Americans safer, and that we should come together on a bipartisan basis so that we have a remedy to make these rare as opposed to normal. We should never think that this is something that just happens in the ordinary course of events, because it doesn't happen with the same frequency in other countries. Thank you so much, Laura. Thank you. Good. Okay.
So there you can hear, Scott, the President mentioning multiple shooters, that the FBI is on the scene there, that he is hoping that we can come together, in his words, he said, on a bipartisan basis to make sure that this becomes a rare occurrence. As the President expressed to me, this has become, in his words, what he said, all too routine during his presidency. He has had to give too many speeches about multiple fatalities from these types of mass shootings, whether it was Newtown, whether it was Aurora, and so you could see that the President was clearly affected by this, and disturbed that this, in his words, as he said, become routine, hoping that there can be some movement in order to make this more rare. But he has had difficulty moving on that front on a bipartisan basis with lawmakers on Capitol Hill. We are told that the President is receiving constant updates from his Homeland Security Advisor here at the White House. Scott?
Well, again, I did the Newsweek interview with the President at the White House for us, Nora. Thank you very much.
Wow.
That is the seventh time that the President has had to comment about a mass shooting in America in the last 5 months.
Thank you, Nora. Good job. Good job. Sit, Ubu, sit.
Unpleasant boring guy, conservative white. Each time civilized people are attacked by the followers of Muhammad, politicians, pundits, and others rush to the news outlets to tell us all that it's not all Muslims. That the support among the followers of Islam for terrorism only amounts to about 10% of those who practice the ideology of Islam. This claim is always made, and it's worth checking. One way to do that would be to compare the reaction of Mohammedans to the November 2015 jihadi attacks in Paris and their reaction to the Charlie Hebdo cartoons. After the Paris attacks, 6 Muslim students at a technical institute in Varese, Italy, walked out of their classroom during the minute of silence the school held in homage to those who died in the Paris attacks. Many might dismiss this as a very small number. But in France, when the attacks took place,
some French newspapers reported that on Thursday, the minute of silence was called by the president in a day of national mourning. Teachers reported to the press that some of their Muslim students refused to accept or refused to observe that moment of silence. Therefore, there is still a big problem in society, by no means the majority.
but is it only a small minority? In Chechnya, 800,000 Muslims protested the Muhammad cartoons, with similar events held in Iran and elsewhere. In Pakistan alone, the number reached 10,000 protesting the Charlie Hebdo cartoons. In Australia, 1,000 Muslims rallied against the Charlie Hebdo cartoons. In Kurdistan, 1,000 Muslims rallied, saying, "I am not Charlie, I love my prophet." Now let's contrast those numbers. In 2005, a group called the Free Muslims Coalition held a Free Muslims March Against Terror that drew about 25 people. In July of 2015, a rally in Ireland against the Islamic State got about 50 people. In June of 2013, at a progressive Muslim rally in Toronto, only about 25 people showed up. You may be saying, well, these are countries where followers of Muhammad who want to protest acts of terror might be afraid for their safety in their communities. All right, let's try a country where people do have gun rights. In August of 2013, there were only about 25 people at a rally against misperceptions that Islam was violent. That was held in Boston. Some still might be saying, well, that was a city in the northeastern United States. We know they're kind of strict on gun rights. Okay. In October 2014, a Houston, Texas rally against the Islamic State got 10 people. It's accepted wisdom that actions speak louder than words. In France, which has a population of about 5 million Muslims, only about 30 attended the rally against the Paris jihad attacks. If it is only about 10% of the followers of Islam who support terror, why will not the other 90% even show up for rallies against Islamic terror? If, as the Council on American Islamic Relations says, these attacks are a distortion of Islam, then that means that they are an insult to Islam. That means that they are an insult to the Prophet Muhammad. So why are our streets not clogged with Muslim protesters demanding action from their governments to help free their countries from terror? Knowing the numbers, we can only come to one conclusion. It is because instead of only about 10% of Islamists supporting terror, only about 10% or less oppose terror. If this were not the case, the numbers at the anti-terror rallies would be massive. People, the cause of Islamic terror is not the fact that other countries are in the Middle East drilling oil, they were invited in. It's not the fact that Muslims feel marginalized in civilized countries. It's because Islam inspires terror. The numbers show it. The actions of the followers of Muhammad prove it. People, while there is still time to save civilization, we must act in a non-violent way to remove the followers of Islam from all positions where they could do non-Muslims harm. They must assimilate to their host countries, or they must find somewhere else to live. Like all true Americans, I have a natural revulsion towards singling out a group of people for different treatment. But as the numbers show, most Islamists support singling out everyone else for different treatment, and that treatment is not good. Civilization can save itself if we will just act. This has been an unpleasant blind guy, conservative fight.
Ladies and gentlemen, you know that during this time of the year, we do our best to encourage you our listening audience, to support our soldiers across the seas and here at home. Stocking for Soldiers Delaware Incorporated was founded to help improve the morale and welfare of members of the armed forces of the United States of America deployed in harm's way. They accomplished their mission by sewing holiday stockings and filling them with special items for the troops. Many of the stockings that we send are for a specific person with their name on the stocking. For many troops, their gift is the only one they receive for the holidays. They're trying to send a touch of home as well as personal messages of support to remind our troops that we appreciate all they do for us and to let them know that they have not been forgotten over the holidays. They depend on the generosity of others to help us and to help our soldiers accomplish our vital mission. Stockings for Soldiers Delaware Incorporated is a 501c3 nonprofit organization. As such, donations are deductible to the extent allowed by law. Please consult your tax professional for more information. If you would like to make a donation to our community project, please send your check to Stockings for Soldiers Delaware Incorporated, 1911 Folk Road, Wilmington, Delaware, 19810. Do it today. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm encouraging everyone, make certain that you stop past Infused Restaurant tomorrow for lunch.
Hi, my name is Christopher Arnold. I'm the executive chef of the Infused Restaurant, and today I'm going to walk you through some of the meals that we prepare here. So we're making a pizza. We use fresh Italian sausage that they cook here and slice it up. Our pizza dough is in-house made. Our pizza sauce is in-house made. So everything is fresh and good. This is our Thai curry chicken. The sauce is made with coconut milk and a Thai red curry. It is juicy chicken thighs as well as some mixed vegetables, served with jasmine rice and pita bread. So now we're going to prepare our famous blackened tilapia and grits, our fish and grits on the menu. And our meal will be complete. Let me tell you about our infused beef burger. So we keep the spice up just a little bit with our infused sauce. We start off with 80-20 USDA ground chuck, hand patty burgers, like half a pound of burgers, and we're going to grill it to perfection. After I flip the burger, we add the sauce and let it cook on it until it gets a little bit. We're going to add a little bit of pepper jack cheese to this burger to spice it up a bit.
Wow. Ladies and gentlemen, I eat often at Infused Restaurant because I have to enjoy what I promote. I really enjoy promoting Infused Restaurant. 6339 Allentown Road, Temple Hills, Maryland, 20748. 301-449-9000. Infuse.com. Get your stuff catered. I mean, if you really want to have a good office party with very good food, get it catered this year at Infused Restaurant. Ladies and gentlemen, there are many people who think that we hardcore conservative men just hate women. And we're so abusive that we only think women can cook, can clean, and to do other things or whatever. And that's it. But the truth of the matter is that a true conservative man is not these things are coming through. They're fast too. Not a Cro-Magnon. However, the totalitarian left might actually be representative of the Cro-Magnon existence, simply because they refuse to make certain that a woman can protect herself from any harm, foreign or domestic. I want you to think about the conference room today that those 14 people died in. And I want you to think for yourself, after the first shooting, because this is what we've learned from those who promote run, hide, or shoot strategies, that there was nothing that they could do. They were defenseless sheep. Can you imagine if the last thought that you had was, I was wrong about being pro-gun, or anti-gun at least? Can you imagine that being the last thought, that you wish you had something to protect yourself? Now, out of those 14 people, can you imagine, even with the long arms that they have and the amount of bullets they were spraying, that if someone in that room could have answered back, the outcome may have been different? We're told not to think that way because, well, that's violence. But I think the greater violence is to tell a man or a woman that she can't protect herself. But that's why tonight we're sitting around and we're reading about two guys. One named Saeed Farouk, the other one named Tayyip Ban Adagan. That's why we're talking about them tonight, because some liberal decided that their voice was greater than yours and greater than God's, and that they had a right to tell you not to defend yourself. Now, I want you to understand why they picked today. This is not being reported anywhere else, and I know my good friend Dan the Man Butcher will pick up on this story. But San Bernardino is bankrupt. Did you know that? San Bernardino is a bankrupt city. And this is exactly what the San Bernardino city attorney told residents earlier this week. He said, gather your arms and prepare to defend yourself, since the bankrupt town can no longer afford the law enforcement it needs. During a city council meeting Wednesday, city attorney Jim Penman urged residents of the bankrupt Californian city to lock their doors and load their guns to protect themselves. City officials prepared a budget plan earlier this month that would attempt to tackle the $45.8 million deficit, partially by cutting benefits for city workers like firefighters and police officers, as well as eliminating 80 cops from the force. So I want you to understand, we're not dealing with men that are as brilliant as rocks. No, we're dealing with brilliant men who worship rocks. And so they understand where the weakness is, where the sickness is, where the indefensible are. And they take advantage of that. Today, why do you think ISIS chose San Bernardino? San Bernardino, California. It's bankrupt. The police are demoralized. They're losing their jobs. And on a day when the city attorney says it's time for you to lock your doors and load your guns, today they attack. I want you to understand that if they are so brilliant, these rock worshippers are so brilliant, that they understood that this was the perfect time to hit San Bernardino, imagine what else they're thinking about around this country. Where are the weak links? Where are the points where people are most defenseless or most or lack defense, forgive me. Ever think of the classroom? Yeah. Ever think of your church? Yeah. Ever think of a woman in a locker room or bathroom? Yeah. Why is it that the Cro-Magnons, known as socialists, Marxists, or totalitarians, don't want your wife to be able to protect herself from hurt, harm, and danger? Now, I want you all to know that a baby taser about this size costs about 20 bucks. You know, but a baby taser's only purpose is to give you space for the person who's attacking you. That's not going to drop him to his knees, or if it does, it's only for a moment of time. It gives you a space to get away, to run, since we're learning about run, hide, and shoot. But I also did the research, and you're probably asking me, why can't are you doing this type of research? It's because I don't want the same thing to happen to my wife that happened to my daughter. I'll say that publicly, I've said it privately. I want my wife to be able to protect herself, or at least know that she had a good fight at the very end, that she wasn't used as a human shield. That's why I think making certain that every woman in the city, now I didn't say men, yeah, I'm sexist, I didn't say men, but I live in a city where the majority of the city is female. About 60% of the population is female. 89% of them are single parents. So, single mother, you are the weakest link. Your protections are very few. And I know you've been trained to go, ooh, good, why would you want a gun? Because it makes your odds even when you're going up against someone bigger than you. To make certain that every woman had a taser, which would cost about 500 bucks, get about $500 worth of training, and another $500 for continual education or ammo or whatever, or the electrical progs that are used. $1,500. Can you imagine how safe your city would be if the person that was trying to roll up on you knew that he might be tased? It would change how we see Saeed Farouk. Saeed Farouk, who mastered the art of subterfuge and was able to get into the California employment system as an environmental health specialist, earning $52,000 a year. Can you imagine if that $52,000 a year had just been spent on the 14 people in that conference room? Or at least if half of them were women. The 7 out of that for women to have had a taser gun. His total pay is actually $71,000. So, America, we paid for this terrorism. When you look at a picture of Saeed Farouk, looks like a very happy camper, as most of them do. But he didn't mind taking you out. Susan Ramos is named as a female San Bernardino shooter. Tayyip Bon Andagon, American citizen. You see, they came here and they did not assimilate. So you're always at risk. You're always at risk. That's why I refuse to think that a police chief could possibly tell my wife that she can't have a taser. You see, her life is just as much at risk as mine. I have a better odd because I'm slightly bigger and I can handle a little something. Maybe not a weapon. I mean, you shoot me, I'm down. You know, I'm down because I don't have a gun. But if you think of me, and I'm a big man, the underground professor who will be on tomorrow night will tell you that. My little wife deserves much more protection than that. You see, in the District of Columbia, police can have a taser, but it's prohibited for a woman to have a taser unless she can get a firearm registration. But if she just went across the border to a city like Alexandria or Arlington in Virginia, it's legal for police and it's legal for her. Why is it that conservatives find it so important that your wife be able to have a taser in her purse just in case somebody does something wrong to her? Well, maybe they're not Cro-Magnons in Virginia. Maybe they're gentlemen that understand the fallen man. And that God so loved the world that he gave his only begotten Son, that whomsoever believeth in him shall not perish, but will have eternal life. And that he not give you a spirit of fear, but of power, love, and a sound mind. Power being the ability to refute anything evil towards you. I want my wife to be able to carry this. So just in case Otagon or Farouk decide that they like to charge up the place, she's got a fighting chance. I'd rather get to heaven knowing that I had a fighting chance than to lay upon the cold earth thinking my last thoughts. Why did I vote for someone who couldn't defend me and didn't want me to defend myself? That, my friend, is mental illness. Ladies and gentlemen, we'll be back tomorrow night. We got some big announcements to make. This is just a season of big announcements. You know what's coming up at 11 p.m. Eastern Time, 7 p.m. on the left coast. Sackheads Radio with Sackhead Sean, Sackhead Clint. I think Dan Butcher will also be joining them tonight. But they are covering the San Bernardino event just as we've been covering it. We didn't lie to you. We told you that it was a terrorist action, and we've been held true. A man once told me, Ken, live bravely so that you'll never have to die a coward. I promise you, every day that I will. I want you to know that God has blessed America. Now it's time for America to bless God. We'll be back tomorrow night, 9 p.m. Eastern Time. God bless you, your family, the ones you love, and God bless America. Sackheads Radio, Rebooting Liberty, SHR Media, Pundit Press, and all the others. Thank you, and God bless.